So check this out. Check 1 2. So here's what we're looking at. We're gonna be doing what we've been doing is we've been giving you the equation and then asking you to give us the graph that is a result of that equation. We're actually going to be doing the reverse of this thing. So I'm going to give you the graph now and then tell you, well, from that I want you to find for me the equation. So here's the graph, and here's the game we're going to play. We notice that on this graph it crosses at 2 4. So really basically you know that it crosses at x equals positive 2 or x equals positive 4. I think that after you've practiced this a little bit, it's pretty easy to see that basically your equation is this: x minus 2, x minus 4, and this is f of x. Now, this could be our equation, and actually I think it might be, but one of the things we really need to check is, here's the thing. We could have a parabola. If this were the only pieces of information that's important, then you have 2 and 4, but you don't necessarily know if your parabola is super deep or super shallow, because both of those two parabolas that I just drew, the super deep one or the super shallow one, fit the criteria of having the x-intercepts of 2 and 4. Now, in order to figure out exactly how this parabola, looks, you have to have a third point. I think that it's safe to say that maybe the easiest third point to follow would be this point right here. It's called the y-intercept. So what I would do if I were you is I would get my equation. Here's my guess, and then I would find the y-intercept. Finding the y-intercept is you simply plug in x equals 0 into there. So in this case, this would be 0 minus 2 over 0 minus 4, which is simply negative 2 times negative 4, which is positive 8. Oh, good, because that's where my y-intercept is. Good. Then I'm going to keep this equation and say that this is mine. If I looked over here and this thing crossed at 16, then I would say, oh, I need to double it. I would put a 2 out here. Or if it crossed at 4, I would put a 1/2 out in front. So basically, it's changing the number in this equation right here. The a changes your shape of your graph, how it kind of, if it's steep or if it's real shallow. And if that's the case, then you can change the a to adjust accordingly so your equation matches your graph exactly. Alright, let's try this one. It crosses at negative 4 and positive 2, so I would say f of x is equal to x plus 4, so that's taking into account the negative 4, and x minus 2. That's taking into account this positive 2. I'm going to check this real quick, and I'm going to say x equals 0. That would be, if I plug in x equals 0 to find the y-intercept, that would be positive 4 times negative 2, which is negative 8. Good. I'm going to keep this equation because this thing does indeed cross at negative 8. Let's try this one over here. So I've got x plus 1. That would be for that guy. And x minus 2. That would be for this one. I think it crosses over at negative 2, and if I say, well, let x equal 0, that would be 1 times negative 2, which is simply negative 2. Good. So it looks like for all of these, we don't really need to put a number out in front over here yet.